All right. Finally, we have gone to the finish line. We are here. We are going to do 17 mangas you need to read in 2024! What makes you come from your home and land, be born in there, or born with family, my friends, his blood? Wait, what is that? Is that a statement? I'm not sure. Anyway, so with that said, this is from Anime Collective. So I guess she is Anime Collective.
Let's go.
We're gonna do 17 mangas you need to read in 2024. I'm pretty sure most of them we've already heard of, but maybe there'll be some that may come through the hype. Might be the hype. Might be the next best thing. We don't know. We'll see. So let's see what she says. Let's go.
Kristen from Anime Collective. So this year is stacked full of new releases, from new additions to new serializations, so I wanted to do a video going over all of my most anticipated. Here's all the new manga I'm looking forward to collecting in 2024. Alright guys, I'm kicking things off with After God, which is one of my most anticipated, if not my most anticipated release, aside from, of course, Initial D. And this is saying a lot because this year is stacked so far. Releasing from Viz on November 19th, the story is set in Japan, ravaged by invading gods, leaving destruction in their wake. We follow anti-god researcher Sachiyuki Tokinaga, who embarks on a quest to reclaim humanity's future. His unexpected ally, high schooler Waka Kamikura, might hold the secret to...
Perhaps, but it's gonna be extremely short. Like a short story. Hold on.
Turning the tide. Together, they navigate the perilous ruins of Tokyo, uncovering secrets that could change the world's fate forever and bring an end to the gods once and for all.
Perhaps, but then again, 9 times out of 10, you might end up... What's the right word? You probably can write a manga in 24 hours. It's not that it's unheard of. Write one and draw one, maybe. Maybe if you have a bunch of people. Probably. If they're really good at their if they're like really professionals, they can probably knock something out in 24 hours. Just in 24 hours, but something extremely short, like 10, 15 pages, that's pretty much it. I don't think like a full-scale manga. I don't think so. But it has to be like a fucking one-shot, something really like basic.
After God has truly breathtaking art. It's realistic but also stylized and unique. When viewing the pages, I'm reminded a lot of the details of Shinichi Sakamoto's Of Innocence panels, albeit different, but the structuring strikes a similar chord with me, but also the emotional style of Sui Ishida's panels. It also has a vibe and atmosphere similar to Chainsaw Man and Hell's Paradise. These are some of my all-time favorite manga artists, so this is big praise, but while I see glimpses, Sumi Ino's After God is a complete original. The dynamic battles and how they are drawn are...
People ask me this question all the time, and I've been told by my friend that using that comparison is hard because it's like, it depends on what universe they're in, because I think he told me around the lines that Saitama might only win against Goku because if they're in his universe, but if Saitama was in any other universe, probably Goku might win. I don't know, because remember, Saitama doesn't really work out like that. If he works out, but yeah, I don't think he works out like that. And ever since he got his godlike powers, I don't think he worked out after the fact. And Goku works out all his life. So if they were even if say for instance Goku was in I don't know, the world of Justice League and he didn't have his powers, I still think he can twist Saitama's neck open, if possible, if they didn't have powers, because Goku works out every single day for most of his life. So from a kid all the way up, Saitama started working out when he was in his mid to late 20s or some shit. So
a major highlight of the series. It has some of the best fights I've seen as of late, but it is also set in an incredibly unique world and knows how to be emotional and dramatic when need be as well. This next one, Gachi Akuta, was initially thought to be a standout release of 2023, but it was pushed back to 2024. I've talked about it before on the channel, but with its delay to 2024...
Was the book always that big? Is the book always that big? It looked big. That's a big book. The fuck? That's a big-ass book. Why does it look so big? Or is it just me? Or is the camera? They look huge.
I get another chance to highlight this...
Let's go.
The book looks big.
This amazing series. Gachi Akuta follows a boy named Rudo, an orphan living with his adoptive parents in the slums. He has abilities that make him stand out from others, but they make him a target as well. One day, Ruto's life is changed forever when he is framed for a murder he did not commit,
On stream?
and he is
No,
thrown
but
into
I've
a
played
place
it
called the Abyss.
and beat them all.
Instead of dying, though, he finds
Raiga
himself in a
Samurai.
strange new world.
Maybe she has baby hands.
Perhaps, or maybe it's the camera. I don't know. Maybe she does have baby hands. But like, I played all the FNAF games. I played 1, 2, 3, 4, Sister Location, and 1, 2, 3, Sister Location 4, and all them. I did them all. The only thing I did not play, MP Simulator. The only thing I didn't play is the FNAF World. Is that what it's called? With all the other FNAF. It's like all the FNAF games in one or some shit, and then the first person one that Markiplier played. It didn't look all that interesting to play in the first place because it looked really basic.
Surrounded by monsters made
It
of
didn't even
trash.
look scary.
There he meets a man named Injin, who's a janitor, an individual who fights against these monsters with special weapons. Ruto becomes a janitor to fight his way out of the abyss and get his revenge. This is one you may already know thanks to a recommendation from Atsushi Okubo, the creator of one of my all-time favorites, Soul Eater. He even went as far as to say he is passing on the baton to Kei Urana.
It does look a little bigger than usual.
Yeah, it looks really big. I don't mind it, but it just, I don't know, it just makes it look even more cooler now as it being big. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know why. It looks cooler big now when I think of it. It's really cool.
His assistant at one point in time. Those are big words and shoes to fill, but I couldn't agree more after reading Gachiakuta. The style, character designs, and world building are incredible. It has a similar vibe and feel to two other manga I love, Deadman Wonderland and Fire Force, but it's still unique and stands apart. On top of all that, it's gritty and emotional and has amazing art. Next is Vinland Saga, which began releasing with English translation on October 14, 2013, but it received a new deluxe edition release in 2024. It is one of my favorite seinen manga, let alone manga of all time. I highly recommend it if you have yet to give it a shot, especially if you enjoy stories with top-notch character development, detailed art, and profound and historically inspired stories. Vinland Saga tells the story of Thorfinn, a young boy enchanted by his...
You know what's so funny? I don't mean to stop it, but like, I always find it funny, the more... I notice that most manga does a great job at what they do. Majority of most manga. And I kind of noticed that when the manga's bad, it almost feels like it's on purpose. You feel that way? Like, if someone says, oh, the manga's bad, it's terrible, it almost feels like it was on purpose. Not like they was trying something and push up. Like, they purposely made it shit because either they didn't really believe in it and they just did it, or something to that factor. It always feels that way to me. With comic book, it feels like, in West, it feels like they purposely tried to make me like something and it was still ass. And then with manga, it feels like they purposely made it shit because they knew it was terrible. And made no excuses. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's, you don't hear a bunch of excuses from like Japanese mangaka saying that, oh, you didn't like my manga? F you. You don't really hear that. You hear that from Westerners. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I think that. Does that make sense? Do you feel that way, Brian? I feel that way.
Father's tales of a distant land to the west.
Like they're bored with it.
Yeah, like they're bored with it. Like the story wasn't all that good, but they need to make a buck, so they made it anyway. Type stuff. Like okay, say they made like, I'm using an example. Let's just say they made like One Punch Man and let's say Dragon Ball and something else and like Doctor Stone, and they have this one-off show manga that didn't do well because they just needed to make a buck because they have to get that deadline in. It just feels that way to me. Like it's like a throwaway manga. Like we did this for the money, but it's not gonna make enough. But we need that money, so we kind of just threw it away. So if it's asked, then it's not really all that serious. We can really hit another home run next time. It's just that this one just is not going to be one of those. It just kind of feels that way to me when it comes to manga. For some odd reason, maybe my bias against the West, but for some odd reason, when it comes to manga, it just seems like when a manga is crap, it just feels like it was on purpose. That they knew it was not going to go anywhere, but they did because they needed to make some cash. But with the West, it's ass because they try to force things for me to accept or like or something to accent. So therefore, I'm not going to fuck with it.
Samurai. Oh yeah, Undead Unluck Season 1 is done.
Oh, for real? Okay, I gotta watch that. Thank you for letting
His
me know, bro.
idyllic world is shattered when a mercenary raid kills his family, pushing him into a life among the very Vikings responsible for this loss. Driven by vengeance against the band's leader for his father's death, Thorfinn grows into a formidable warrior. But amidst his quest for revenge, the enduring pride in his family and the dream of Vinland, a peaceful land free of war, give him solace and purpose. In addition to getting a premium upgrade, Kodansha threw in some extras in these new deluxe editions. They even tossed in color maps and concept art, giving us behind-the-scenes peeks. In my full review video of the Vinland Saga Deluxe Editions, I go over all of this and how they compare to the original 2-in-1 hardcovers released by Kodansha if you'd like to check it out. The Tree of Death Yomotsu Heigi is the latest series by Masasumi Kakizaki and is a must-read if you're a fan of cosmic horror like I am. Known for his work on Green Blood and Rainbow, he continues to show off his deeply engaging storytelling and intricate, highly detailed artwork in this new series, which is out now thanks to 7 Seas. The story introduces us to Nawa Kanetsugu, a former police officer whose life is appended by the tragic loss of his family, which propels him on a dark path of vengeance. What sets this journey apart is a twist of fate that grants Nawa immortality and monstrous powers after consuming the fruit from the tree in the realm of dead, Yomotsu Heigi. This curse or blessing leads him to a crossroads between regaining his lost humanity or succumbing to the darkness within, as he allies with a god of death to battle otherworldly threats. Yomotsu Heigi is a revenge story, but it's so much more. It's also a complex exploration of justice, redemption, and the human condition, and it's all set against a fascinating cosmic horror backdrop. If you enjoy manga that dive deep into the darker aspects of the soul, have beautiful art, and are Lovecraftian, this series is one you'll want to check out. Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You follows Sasaki, who at 45 finds little joy beyond the smoke breaks that punctuate his monotonous office life, except for the brief moments shared with Yamada, a supermarket cashier. After a grueling day, Yamada's absence sends Sasaki in search of comfort, leading him to an unexpected encounter with Toyama, a captivating woman who offers him a cigarette and company. As their smoke-filled conversation unfolds, Sasaki is oblivious to the fact that Toyama is more familiar to him than he realizes. Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You features a bond forged in life's everyday moments. Unlike many other manga that dramatize first encounters with grandiose events, this manga focuses more on the realism of casual yet profound interactions. It shows us all that meaningful relationships can emerge from the simplest of settings, like behind a konbini. Because of its setup, there's an authenticity to the characters and their relationship, and I love that it features an adult cast as well. It's an absolute gem through and through. It's one of the best manga 2024 so far. I hope you'll check it out. I Want to End This Love Game features a unique twist of
Hello, emoji, what's going on?
childhood rivalry between Yukiya Asagi and Miku Sakura, who have engaged in the love game since they were kids, challenging each other with declarations of I love you and attempts to catch the other off guard. But the stakes of this game escalate when genuine feelings of love mix with their competitive spirit, making the prospect of losing unthinkable for them both. Yukiya steps into high school with a mission to win over Miku. Armed with tactics lifted straight from her favorite shoujo manga, he's ready to execute the perfect romantic maneuvers, from wall pinning to smoldering gazes in hopes of stirring her heart. Kaguya-sama Love is War is one of my top series, so admittedly when I picked this one up, it was because it had similarities. While I did hope to discover a series that would fill that void, I also yearned for a romantic comedy that would shine on its own. Now this is a will they won't they type series where the main characters resist confessing their love for one another at all costs, so if you enjoy more straightforward romances, I have other recommendations you may enjoy more. That said though, if you love cute stories with relatable characters, it's one I highly recommend. Medalist released on March 5th from Kodansha, and it follows Inori, an 11-year-old with big dreams of becoming a figure skater who faces daunting obstacles. Despite her age, school struggles, and family doubts, the ice rink is her sanctuary, and she works hard to make her dreams a reality. There she meets Tsukasa, a coach on the brink of quitting competitive skating forever. Together they forge an unstoppable duo fueled by hard work, unwavering belief, and the pursuit of proving everyone wrong. Inori's journey is deeply moving. Her passion for figure skating is palpable, and you can't help but root for her. Teaming up with Coach Tsukasa, who's on the verge of giving up his dreams, adds layers to this dynamic. Despite facing doubts from others, including Inori's mom, they find strength in each other and strive to defy the odds. Their mutual belief, support, and passion for figure skating create this beautiful, inspiring bond, and their interactions are one of medalists' strong suits. Believing in yourself when you are young is hard enough, but it is even more challenging when everyone around Inori, from her mom to her classmates, tells her she won't amount to anything. Tsukasa's role as a coach becomes not just about teaching figure skating, but instilling belief and hope in Inori's heart. These two learn a lot from each other, and their connection and drive to overcome the odds make Medalist one of the best and most touching sports series I've ever read. One of my most wanted has always been a new release of Initial D. Initial D debuted in the 90s, but wouldn't be released with English translation until 2002 when Tokyo Pop released singles of the series. Unfortunately, though, they only printed 33 of the 48 volumes, so it's never been fully released in the US. Much to my excitement, though, Kodansha announced large-sized 2-in-1 omnibuses of Initial D, with the first slated for release on March 19th. I'm going to be doing a video on the channel showcasing these new omnibuses and how they compare to the singles, so stay tuned for that. The story of Initial D follows Takumi Fujiwara, an 18-year-old who helps out his father at his tofu shop by making deliveries. Every morning he heads out to Mount Akina in his dad's AE-86. Because of this daily routine, he has gained skills in mountain racing and drifting, which were further honed while driving to make a delivery at its summit. Takumi's daily life changes when the Akagi Red Suns come into town to challenge the local team, the Akina Speedstars. Takumi is a thrilling driver because he thinks out of the box and quickly adapts to every situation or challenge. The races are entertaining and exhilarating, not just because of Takumi, because of the opponents he comes across as well. Each with their unique driving style, every race feels fresh and the bar is constantly being raised. The races unfold in a way that makes them unexpected and exciting, and the cars, whether in motion or not, are beautifully drawn. Whether you're into cars or not, Initial D is a fantastic read. It's one of my favorite series to ever release, and it's an absolute classic through and through. If you are picking up Initial D Omnibus 1, there's a standard release, but there are also 2 exclusive cover releases you can shop from Crunchyroll and Kinokuniya.
Nickelodeon was kid everything, but that marked one of the darkest chapters.
These are 3 predators who worked.
Up next is Gannibal, which is one of the top horror manga I recommend, not just this year, but all around. It's a hidden treasure that's finally going to be available in English thanks to Ablaze. The story follows our protagonist who relocates to a seemingly quaint mountain village, only to find it cloaked in dark rumors of cannibalism. It all sounds like a twisted joke until a local officer goes missing. When our MC is sent to take over his post, he begins to wonder whether or not these rumors are true and begins to investigate. The only problem is that one particular family in the area doesn't like him poking around in their business. Just like in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the family in this story, the Goto family, evokes a sense of dread looming over the village, acknowledged but the town doesn't pry into their lives. It's an utterly gripping and unsettling read that had me on edge throughout. It's one that I hope more and more people will check out because it's one of the best new horror manga I've read as of late. Ablaze is releasing the paperback volumes at manga retailers on April 9th, but they also launched a Kickstarter that features hardcover manga editions, box sets, and more of the series. As someone who loves video games and plays MMOs, my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999 really struck a chord with me, much like another one of my favorites, Watakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku did. From the beauty and friendships that can be forged, but also the dangers that come with meeting IRL, to the identities and connections we form in game, and the lessons, healing, or escape that they offer us, my love story with Yamada-kun is one of the best you can read. In the series, we follow our MC and college student Akane, who in the wake of a painful breakup, finds solace not in solitude, but within the virtual world of an online RPG, where she combats minor foes to heal her bruised heart. Here, she crosses paths with Yamada, a pro gamer whose social reclusiveness leaves Akane torn between finding him awkwardly charming or intriguingly mysterious. An unexpected run-in with her ex at a gaming convention propels Akane into a whimsical charade, presenting Yamada as her new boyfriend. This spur-of-the-moment decision intertwines their lives both digitally and physically, but Yamada's passion seems tethered to one thing and one thing only: gaming. My love story with Yamada-kun is a romance, but it also features an amazing group dynamic, mainly the members of the guild to which Akane and Yamada belong. We watch them connect online, but also in real life, and it's their interactions and the humorous and heartwarming moments that result from them, along with their relationship, that makes this series so memorable for me. In addition to the manga, which is released on April 2nd from Inklore, a new imprint of Random House, I highly recommend the anime adaptation brought to life one of my favorite studios, Madhouse. Kodansha is releasing 2-in-1 omnibuses of the Fable, with the first set to arrive on April 9th. Since its initial release in 2014, The Fable has been one of my most wanted print releases. With an upcoming anime adaptation on the horizon, it's the perfect time to bring the series to print, and I'm excited to finally add it to my collection. The story follows a legendary assassin known as the Fable who is advised to lay low in Osaka after a bloody period of gang enforcement in Tokyo.
Hello.
Tasked with living a normal life
you?
for a year, he faces a world of challenges with his usual professionalism. But can he truly escape his past, or will the Osaka underworld draw him back in? The Fable stands out as one of the best when it comes to titles featuring hitman protagonists, and this is across all media. It delves into the challenges of escaping a life of being a hitman, akin to something like John Wick, so it's action-packed and thrilling, but it also has a way of highlighting these characters who by all accounts are criminals in ways that make you root for and connect with them. They showcase how being a hitman is a job that always comes back to haunt you. When your life has been nothing but killing, The Fable begs the question of how can you settle down and truly live, and this makes it unexpectedly warm and touching to read at times. It's not all serious, it's quite hilarious as well. While Sakamoto Days is my favorite shonen that highlights a hitman trying to lay low and live a normal life, The Fable takes my top spot for seinen. As far as modern shonen goes, the past few years have had some of my all-time favorite releases like Chainsaw Man, Dandadan, and Sakamoto Days. 2024 is continuing the momentum with one of my most anticipated, Goku Rakugai, hitting shelves thanks to Viz. I initially fell in love with this series after reading its one-shot, which evolved into this serialized version arriving this year. This story is set in the gritty, lawless confines of Goku Rakugai, where troubleshooters Alma and Tao stand as beacons of justice amid the chaos. Catering to a wide array of clients, their missions frequently confront them with the city's darkest menaces, monstrous entities that prey on its inhabitants. Motivated by both a sense of justice and money, they take on human and inhuman adversaries and help individuals in need, all while navigating life in a place that's lost all law and order. The series stands out with its unique art style and character designs. Honestly, it has some of the best artwork I've seen in a while, and the characters are just as interesting. This is one I'd especially love to see an anime adaptation of. It's one of those series that would be incredible as an anime because of its vivid storytelling and dynamic panels. I truly can't recommend this one enough, and you can look forward to its release on April 16th. Dark Horse is shining the spotlight on Trigun and its sequel, Trigun Maximum, in 2024, with the release of new deluxe editions starting on April 23rd. This news is exciting not just because I am a fan and I've longed to own a premium edition of the series, but also because it will get into the hands of more and more people, especially given the scarcity and high costs of the previous editions. If you are new to Trigun, it is set in the desert world of Gunsmoke, where a mysterious bounty hangs above the head of Vash the Stampede. His guns can pierce the planet, which explains why the locals tremble at the very mention of his name. The reward for his capture or assassination is $60 billion double dollars. Every trigger-happy psycho in creation is aiming to claim Vash dead or alive. Trigun has a nostalgic feel to it with its Western-like vibe and setting, but it's set in a futuristic time as well, and this makes it unique. On top of all that, it's action-packed and full of comedy. It's one of the most entertaining series I've ever read.
I opened a 360 checking account when...
Okay, let's see. Okay. Fuck. Okay, hold on.
Has been one of my most wanted print releases. I own a premium edition of the series, but also because it will get into the hands of more and more people, especially given the scarcity and high costs of the previous editions. If you are new to Trigun, it is set in the desert world of Gunsmoke, where a mysterious bounty hangs above the head of Vash the Stampede. His guns can pierce the planet, which explains why the locals tremble at the very mention of his name. The reward for his capture or assassination is $60 billion double dollars. Every trigger-happy psycho in creation is aiming to claim Vash dead or alive. Trigun has a nostalgic feel to it with its Western-like vibe and setting, but it's set in a futuristic time as well, and this makes it unique. On top of all that, it's action-packed and full of comedy. It's one of the most entertaining series I've ever read. Next is Hira Yasumi, an upcoming slice-of-life seinen by Keigo Shinzo.
Is it seinen?
It follows 29-year-old and carefree Hiroto Ikuta, who doesn't have a girlfriend, a steady job, or a life plan, and he couldn't be happier. But his breezy attitude confounds others in a world fraught with anxiety and uncertainty. After striking up an unlikely friendship with the neighborhood's grumpy elder, Hiroto unexpectedly inherits her house and some challenging emotions. When his 18-year-old cousin Nasumi moves in, Hiroto's carefree lifestyle faces a test as she grapples with her struggles as an aspiring art student. This series beautifully captures the essence of cherishing life's simple pleasures, like the sun's warmth, the fragrance of the flowers, or the gentle breeze. It serves as a reminder not to overlook the beauty in the ordinary and to appreciate what we have in the here and now. I have always appreciated series like Hira Yasumi, which while don't have many bells and whistles, are beautiful in their own right. I've come to appreciate simplicity more and more in my own life, so Hira Yasumi couldn't have arrived at a more perfect time. These volumes are going to be released under Viz's SIG series, which are larger in comparison to their standard Shonen Jump releases like Dorohedoro and Dead Dead Demons. You can look forward to its release on May 21st. The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity is a charming take on Romeo and Juliet. It's partially set at Chidori High, where underachievers and our main character Rentaro go to school.
I'm just working on what I
He
just
meets
did
a girl from the prestigious Kikyo Girls High and falls for her. But their budding romance faces challenges as they navigate the divide between their schools and societal expectations. I enjoy this series because it's a heartwarming read. Since this is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, there's bound to be some drama, and a star-crossed lover's relationship takes center stage. As a fan of the source material, I appreciate the creator's take on Romeo and Juliet, featuring relatable characters who, while fitting into some familiar tropes like the misunderstood guy and the clever girl, are still authentic and engaging. The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity is a romance and drama story that, while simple, is executed exceptionally well. If you like Romeo and Juliet or wholesome stories, I highly recommend this one. This next one, Full Night, a new seinen series, immediately grabbed my attention, not only because it was recommended by Sui Ishida, the creator of one of my top manga of all time, Tokyo Ghoul, but also thanks to its immense potential, unique setting, and exploration of thought-provoking themes. It is expected to be released from Viz under their SIG imprint on June 18th. Full Night is set in a bleak future where the earth is shrouded in thick clouds blocking the sun, suffocating life, and humanity faces extinction. The concept of transfloration emerges as a desperate measure to prevent this, converting humans into oxygen-producing plants. Amid this dystopian setting, Toshiro Kamiya faces a harrowing decision: undergo transfloration to save his ailing mother, or cling to the remnants of his humanity. Full Night dives deep into the moral complexities that come with self-sacrifice and human resilience in the face of survival, particularly emphasizing the lengths one would go to protect their loved ones and the lengths that humanity will go to survive. Set against the dystopian post-apocalyptic backdrop, one of my favorite settings, this series is similar in ways to two others I like.
Brian, have you heard of this one? I don't think I heard of this one, unless I was not paying attention. Have you heard of this one? I don't think so.
Love Tokyo Ghoul and Heavenly Delusion. What sets Full Night apart is not just its unique storyline and beautifully drawn panels, but also its indescribable allure that hooks you from the start. I can't help but feel that Full Night is truly special, and I'm excited for its release this year. This next one was recently announced. Viz announced that they are releasing Kagurabachi in the fall. It follows the story of Chihiro, who dedicates his days to training alongside his renowned swordsmith father, aspiring to follow in his footsteps and become a master sword maker. Their days together, full of lighthearted banter and earnest dedication to their craft, seem like they will last forever. But their existence is shattered instantly by a devastating tragedy, plunging Chihiro into a world consumed by darkness and driven by vengeance. With sword in hand, Chihiro embarks on a relentless quest for retribution and heads down a new path full of battles and challenges. Based on some of the series I mentioned earlier, including this one, I definitely have a thing for revenge stories, but Kagurabachi is one of the shonen that has recently debuted to capture my attention. It has an interesting power system, and from the chapters I've read, it has a lot of potential. If you're a fan of shonen with a darker edge like me, Kagurabachi is one you'll want to check out this fall. I also wanted to talk about some other releases, most notably new additions, but also some series I'm interested in picking up this year as well. This year, a Vampire Knight manga box set is releasing on October 22nd, We are also getting
Vampire
Red
Knight.
River 3-in-1 editions that are releasing on
Isn't that
October
that game?
15th. You and I Are Polar Opposites, which is releasing on May 7th. My Name is Shingo, the Perfect editions, which are arriving on February 27th. Also coming out is a Go-Go Monster 2nd edition hardcover on June 25th, Last Quarter on September 3rd, and a Fire Force manga box set on June 4th. I wanted to note these real quick because these are some exciting new releases that are on the horizon as well. These are all of the series I'm looking forward to picking up this year so far. Of course, it's early, so more announcements are sure to be on the way. As new series I'm excited about are announced, I'll be sure to update you guys via top comment in my community tab. I have a post on my website, animecollective.com, that I'll be keeping updated over the course of the year too, if you'd like to check that out. That's it for the video, guys. Which series are you excited to pick up this year? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Okay, so, bro, you still here? Let me see. Blue. Let me see. Ooh. I got one more reaction.
Choosing a
Well,
First
actually, you know
video.
what?
Hey guys, it's Kristen from Anime Collective.
We'll look for one more manga. 13 new manga you need to read in 2023. I know 2023 is
I want
over,
to,
but
and-
this might be interesting. So, we'll do one more, just for Bri. Being a good sport for waiting throughout all those other stuff I had to do, so we'll do another one.
There are a lot of exciting new manga series releasing in 2023, and more are sure to be on the way. In this video, I only included series that are releasing for the first time with English translation and that are receiving print releases, so digital releases are not on this
Raiga
list.
Samurai.
And if you are interested
Thanks,
in picking
bro.
up
No
any
problem,
of
man.
these manga, I've included pre-order links
You've been a good
available
sport.
in the
Like,
description
it's,
below.
I know, I'm pretty sure you don't mind the videos that we watch, but I'm pretty sure they kind of get a little bit annoying and boring after a while, and they're not exciting to hear about because they're usually back news, so I understand.
That all being said, here are the new manga you need to be reading in 2023. I have to talk about Innocent by Shinichi Sakamoto first. When Dark Horse announced that they would be releasing 3-in-1 omnibuses of the series at Anime NYC, I couldn't believe it. Definitely up there with the announcement of Homunculus for me, which I'm going to talk about later, as news of the year. I would honestly have been happy with any of Sakamoto's works being printed, whether it be The Climber or DRCL, but Innocent is an incredible first step, and I'm really hoping this means that all of his works will be on the way in the future too. Innocent is set
There you
before
go.
the French
Thank you for the
Revolution, and
likes. I
its story
appreciate it.
is told from the perspective of Charles Henry Sanson, who comes from a family of executioners. He takes on this role even though he doesn't want to, in order to essentially change the system from within. One of the things about Shinichi Sakamoto's works that always captivates me is not only the fact that he emphasizes reality, and this is something you can see through his hyper-realistic artwork, but I also really love the fact that you can hear what's happening on the page. You don't just see the events that are unfolding before you, you feel them, hear them, and more. It's as if you're in the very scene. I remember seeing an interview with him where he said he was experimenting with not using onomatopoeia in his panels. He wants to make you imagine those sounds rather than tell you they are there, and he excels at doing so. He even goes as far to help the reader understand what something would sound like in his works. For instance, in Koko no Hito, he mentioned that the sound of a glacier collapsing is not something that we come across every day, but we see and hear buildings collapsing in film all the time. So he drew a panel of a building collapsing before to give the reader the idea as to what it would sound like. He is truly one of the best artists of our time. Also, all of the details and work he puts into making Innocent, and how all of its characters are accurate to the time period it's set in, is incredible. The details of their clothing, their hair, where they live, and the settings they take part in is just above and beyond, and it's a true masterpiece through and through. Innocent is one of my top series from Sakamoto, but also one of my top series of all time. We have stunning artwork, detailed and intricate, that's full of emotion and symbolism. He showcases our characters' emotions in abstract ways, but his works are rooted entirely in realism. It's one of the best historical series I've ever read, and is full of drama, and is quite over the top in the best way possible too. The first volume is expected to release on November 22nd, 2023, so be sure to keep
The reason
an eye
why
out for
it's so quiet because I'm doing a reaction video, a reactionary video, believe it or not. And this is why I'm so quiet, and you probably hear the music that's playing from TikTok. We're doing reactions, so I do a bunch of reactions based on like wokeism or something that's going on manga stuff or this comic book stuff, and we're doing it right now. We're on the last video, and A lot. So you go on YouTube, you can see the reactionary stuff, or you can go look at my tutorials on how I do art. So like those are there as well. So yeah, you can go check them out if you like. It's on on YouTube. Who's playing these frickin' games?
This next manga already released from Yin Press in January 2023. It's Oshinoko from the creators of Scum's Wish and Kaguya-sama Love is War. I actually did an early look at this one on the channel if you'd like to check it out. There's also an anime of this one coming in April 2023 too, so there's a lot to look forward to. Oshinoko is quite an out there series, but I love these types of stories, so this is a compliment coming from me. I was excited for this one because it's written by the creator of one of my favorite romantic comedies, Kaguya-sama Love is War, and is illustrated by the creator of Scum's Wish. I enjoy both of their works individually, so I was excited to read this one. If you are looking for a series about an idol, the MC is one, but if you're thinking this is going to be your typical idol story, you are in for something else entirely. This one shines a unique light on what it means to be an idol and the struggles that come with being one, like always being in the public eye and having to fake emotions for the camera, and the issues that people who are famous face in the industry altogether. But it's a supernatural story too. In this story, Ai Hoshino, an idol, ends up pregnant and heads to a rural hospital to secretly have her twins. The doctor there, Goro, just so happens to be a fan of hers. One thing leads to another and a mysterious figure kills him. He wakes up to find out he's been reborn as Ai's newborn son, Aquamarine. There's quite a bit of mystery to this one that makes it an interesting read, and it's a unique story involving reincarnation too. It's on Manga Plus if you'd like to check it out, and is currently releasing now from Yin Press. Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun has been releasing since 2017 in Japan and is finally getting an English print release thanks to Kodansha in 2023. You may have already watched the anime, which is incredible as well, but the manga is even better in my opinion. It has a great sense of...
Is it really? Because, like, I don't know. Like, it just looks... Maybe it's just me. I think I'm going based on the art style alone. Is it worth the watch or even worth the read? It looks really meh to me. I don't know. It looks like something that came out in, like, 06. Like, it gives me, like, what's that anime called? Sergeant Toad vibes. Is it Toad? Or Sergeant Frog? I think it's Sergeant Frog. Is it like that? I feel like it's like that. I have that feeling. I could be wrong, but then again, I never really know.
Samurai. People don't talk about it much.
I don't know, people don't talk about it. Yeah, I don't see anyone talk about it, and every time I see, like, that main character, it reminds me of Deku.
Humor and lighthearted comedic moments, fun as well as lovable characters, and the fantasy demon world that this one is set in, and the world building in this one makes it a true joy to read. It is an isekai story with an extremely unique setup and story. Our MC, Iruma, is transported to another world when his parents sign a contract with Sullivan, a high-ranking demon. He will have to keep the fact that he's a human hidden and convince everyone he's a demon, which becomes increasingly more difficult when he begins attending demon school. Of course, though, there's more to this story than we initially realized. A lot of the humor in the series is a result of Iruma's interactions with the students as well as his teachers, but it's through them that he also begins to learn a lot about himself and begins to grow as an individual and form strong bonds with others. The characters are extremely lovable too. It's just a fun and amazing read. I highly recommend checking this one out if you haven't already when it begins releasing in spring 2023. This next one, Helk, is an amazing action fantasy coming from Viz in 2023. It's one of my most anticipated of the year and it's a hidden gem. In Helk, the Demon Empire holds a tournament to choose the next Demon King. The favorite contestant to win is Helk, a kind-hearted human who says the reason he wants to become the Demon King is to defeat his own race. Or does he have an ulterior motive? Dark forces are at work in this one too. While it has a seemingly simple premise, it's a fantasy story that flips the script in a lot of ways. Not only is the individual that wins the Demon King tournament a human, but he despises humans as well, which makes for an interesting and unexpected story. It also has a lot of depth. The series starts out as a fun, heartwarming read, but as it develops, becomes more serious, so you feel a lot of different emotions while reading the series. Like many of the manga I enjoy, it's fun, will make you laugh, but it also knows how to pull on your heartstrings as well. It also has some incredible characters, including the main characters Helk and Vamiro, who have a wonderful dynamic. In addition to having a great cast of characters, it also has great world building. Insomniacs After School is one that just has a really refreshing vibe to it, and it's quite a healing and relaxing read. There's something oddly melancholic but ultimately beautiful to it, and the humor as well as the dynamic between its characters remind me a lot of the characters in Dead Dead Demons, which is one of my all-time favorite series. If you enjoy series like Call of the Night, you'll want to check this one out too. And while it's not a supernatural one like Call of the Night is, the tone of the series and the main characters and their stories are similar. Insomniacs After School follows two students who have insomnia that find solace together in the school's abandoned observatory. This secret hideout becomes a safe haven for them where they can rest. They form an unexpected bond and find comfort within each other. It's nice to know that someone not only knows but understands what you are going through, so it makes for a touching story, and their connection is beautiful to witness. For me, Slice of Life series really hinge on their characters as well as the topics and themes they explore. Insomniacs After School not only has a unique premise, but relatable and likable characters too. It's just a nice, calming read that feels very fresh. It's one you want to keep an eye out for when it releases from Viz in March 2023. Dark Gathering is an exciting supernatural horror series releasing from Viz in 2023. The story follows a college freshman who has been haunted by his ability to attract spirits and the collateral damage it's caused in the past. In an attempt to blend into society, he becomes a private tutor, but supernatural danger returns when his first student enlists him in her quest to find the spirit that took her mother away. It's really good.
What is the type of art you're
art
into,
style,
though?
intriguing premise,
Curious.
cool
Is it
character
anime or is it
designs,
something
and it
more
shows a lot of promise so far. This one is definitely going to catch fire in the next few years. Dark supernatural fantasies like Kemono Jihen, Shadow's House, and Miyaroko-chan are series I enjoy, and Dark Gathering is very much in the same vein as these types of series, so it contains topics and themes like the occult that are interesting too. This one is dark and horror-filled, more so than other shonen I've read, so if you are a fan of horror, you'll be surprised to see the panels that show up in this series. March Comes In Like a Lion is releasing from Dimpa starting in March. It follows Ray, a young prodigy that lives alone. He's on the verge of turning pro in shogi, but he has no home life or much of a life outside the game until he meets his lifelong friends. With their help, he gets an opportunity to start over, and we see him grow and develop over the course of the series. It's an Iyashike as well as a seinen manga, so this one is full of heartfelt as well as tough moments, and it focuses on realism too. It gets deep into the
Is there a particular I'm doing well, just trying to work on this new character design. You know me, I have a problem when it comes to character design. I'll make a whole new character and then abandon it, throw it out. You know what I mean? Just the other day I did a bunch of this. Let me see. Let's see. Fun time. There we go. We did this yesterday, so I'm gonna have you guys vote on that soon in time, and then you guys can pick which one you like the most. Of all of them and all that great stuff, so you can pick which outfit is the best one. You'll get to vote on that when I post that later. And there's me. Let me see. Okay. Red hair. You pick red hair. She picks red hair. I gotcha.
Of life, what it means to be human, and it's a highly
just to answer for Star, I just want to let you know there's a guy named Rhino Tuna or Reno Tuna, depending on who you're talking to. You go to Instagram and type in Rhino Tuna, it'll look like a fish icon. You're gonna like that character, you're gonna like that artist more because he does semi-realized anime. You might check him out. You might even heard of him for all I know.
Highly relatable series, which is further enhanced by the fact that it mirrors reality. The characters and their personalities as well as lives are believable, and it's easy to get behind the characters and their stories really resonate with me. All in all, it's one that connected deeply with me emotionally and personally. It reminds me a lot of Your Lie in April in ways, but Barakamon too, so if you enjoyed either, I highly recommend getting into this one when it releases this year. Soloist in a Cage is one you may have already read on Manga Plus, but it's getting a print release in May 2023 from 7 Seas. It's dystopian,
and if you need help finding it, let me know.
It is better described as a walled-off and heavily guarded prison that's cut off from the rest of the world. So those who live there are very much stuck in a cage. Those who dare try to escape have to overcome not only a tough climb, but also have to sneakily do so as to not raise an alarm and awaken guard robots that guard it. In this city lives Chloe, our MC, and her baby brother. She dreams of a better life for him and will do anything to protect him, even if that must mean escaping this place forever, no matter the cost. On top of having beautiful artwork which pulls you into this bleak and snowy world, it is an emotional read. It's a 3-volume series, but while it's short, it doesn't feel rushed in any way, and it's one that has a lasting impact.
Trust me,
Recently,
it's hard to
for no reason
it's
at
hard
all,
to find
I
them
asked
because
Mint
it's
Mobile's
hard to
legal
do.
team if big wireless companies
Because
are allowed.
stylization tends to overrun that of the realism, and the realism tends to overrun that of the stylization. Because remember, realism tends to have restraint when stylization doesn't. I'm an art teacher, so I know how this goes. So like, when you make something super realistic, it has to be restrained based on whatever the, I wouldn't say just the universe. It has to be in the universe that you live in, like in real life, because it's realistic. So you have to keep that restraint. But when it comes to stylization, you can do a little bit more, get away with a little more, but it may not convey what you want.
Hikaru Died is one of the best new horror manga series I've read in a while. It follows two boys, Yoshiki and Hikaru, who grew up together in a small village. One day, Yoshiki notices that something is different about Hikaru and discovers that an imposter has taken control over his body. With a real Hikaru gone in spirit but not in body, Yoshiki struggles to let him go and decides that he'd rather be with whatever it is than lose Hikaru forever. Since it's set in a village where strange incidents begin occurring, it reminds me a lot of Higurashi, especially in regards to its setting and atmosphere. There's something that's just not quite right about this village. The people are secretive and dark whispers move around the town. The animals are uneasy and there's an ominous terror lurking in the shadows as well as the trees of the mountains. All in all, with all of the unexpected and unexplained happenings, it's an unsettling read. At the same time, it's very emotional as you watch Yoshiki come to terms with his new reality. It's chock full of mystery, has a beautiful story and art, and is one of the best new horror manga I've read to date. If you love mystery as well as supernatural manga, you'll want to give this one a shot. Yen Press announced that they were releasing this one with English translation, so it will be available to collect soon this year. Sora in the House of Monsters is a new manga by the creator of Marygrave that has beautifully drawn settings and architecture and unique character designs. It's releasing from 7 Seas in 2023. To put it simply, it follows the travels of a monster architect who's conscientious about his client's very specific and unique needs.
14 years. Okay,
a knight who battled these monsters before a time of peace stumbles across him and his band one day on her search for a new home. Unexpectedly, after meeting him and seeing his work, she decides to work with him and they embark on a new journey together. What initially captured me about this series was its art. It's so intricate and has a unique style. The architecture and settings actually remind me a lot of some of my favorite action-adventure games, and so does the world building. It's an enjoyable and fun action-adventure fantasy series that has a touching story, and it really takes a look at what it means to have a home, a place where you feel comforted, somewhere you can rest and recharge at the end of the day, feel safe and make memories, and how everyone from monsters and heroes deserve to have a place they call their own. We see our MC searching for a home of her own, so there's quite a bit of depth to this one too. The Horizon is a manhwa by JH, and it's one of the most harrowing stories I've ever read. And despite it only being 21 chapters, it was still as impactful, if not more impactful, than some stories I've read that have 100 chapters, if not more. It didn't quite make me cry as much or take as much a toll on me as series like Goodnight Poon Poon or No Longer Human, but it came close, and for a series that's this compact, this is a huge feat. The Horizon is releasing from Eyes Press in June 2023, and it was confirmed at Anime NYC 2022. By the way, I want to mention JH's other series, The Boxer, real quick, because he's written not one but 2 series that hooked me. If you love JH's works or you love stories about boxing, it's one you'll want to check out. I actually have a video showcasing the first volume on the channel if you'd like to check it out and learn more about the series. One thing I really enjoy about all of JH works, though, including The Horizon, is the commentary on life. JH takes these stories, one that's about 2 kids living in the aftermath of a cataclysmic war, and another that's about a boxer, and tells them in a way that feels poetic. So the storytelling element is a strong suit of these for sure, but his stories also feel very real, and his characters are very relatable. The Horizon is one of the most profound and dark series I've ever read. It's similar to The Road, and to this day that movie still haunts me, much in the same way The Horizon still haunts me to this day, but even more so because there's no parent or parents helping these children in this story. Instead, the story follows a young boy who is trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world after losing his mother. One day he meets a young girl who is struggling to do the same, and they accompany one another on their journey. Despite all the scary moments and obstacles they face, they push forward in search of a safe haven and are looking for light and hope in this dark world. Of course, that light can very well be felt at times in their interactions with one another, but it's very clear from the images in this story that the loneliness that these two feel, despite having one another, still exists. They meet other survivors along the way, adults who have lost their way and most notably have lost their humanity and their endeavor to survive no matter the cost. It's a tough read that, while has little dialogue, has so much to say. The atmosphere and emotion that the author conveys through the art is unbelievable as well. You really grasp the great nature of the situation, and the way the story unfolds is just so expertly done. It's one that absolutely broke me, but I'm glad I experienced it nonetheless because it's one of my favorites of all time. Keep an eye out for the first volume, which is releasing from Ice Press in June 2023. Sci-fi, seinen, and boichi fans, including myself, are in for a big treat in 2023 with the release of Origin, which is coming in fall 2023 from Kodansha. Boichi is well known as the artist behind Dr. Stone, but he has also brought us amazing series like Sunken Rock and Origin. I'm a huge fan of his works. He's one of the most incredible artists I've ever seen. He's one of the best of our time. Origin first released in Japan in 2016 and finished releasing in 2019 with 10 volumes. It has been released in a number of different languages, but this is the first time it will be printed in English. I really hope this means that Sunken Rock is coming soon too. Origin is set in the future in the capital city of Tokyo, which is now connected to Eurasia by a transcontinental railroad. Criminals and terrorists live in its metropolitan darkness, as well as mysterious creatures who prey on humans. Only one stands against them: Origin. Boichi's series always have a great sense of humor, as well as emotional moments to connect you further into his stories. They are action-packed and feature incredibly detailed and stunning art. Robots with advanced AI exist in this story, but the real beauty to this one is that our MC is an android who wants to learn more about himself and what it means to be alive. There are plenty of emotional as well as beautiful moments, but we get some badass action as well as comedy too. We even have some deeper exploration here, not quite as deep as series like Pluto by Naoki Urasawa, but it still gets into the whole what does it mean to be human and robots with feelings narratives. There's also a great deal of self-reflection in this one, but it also has the action and detailed, unique artwork you'd see in series like Inuyashiki, so if you're a fan of either, definitely give this one a shot. It's quite fun and entertaining to read, but has a lot of depth to it as well. Homunculus by Hideo Yamamoto, the mind that also brought us Ichi the Killer, is one of the best thrillers and psychological horror manga I've ever read. Seven Seas recently announced that they will be releasing Homunculus with English translation in an oversized omnibus format. It was announced in 2022, definitely the biggest and most exciting manga news of the year for me, along with the announcement of Innocent. The story follows Susumu Nakoshi. One day he's in a lavish hotel, the next day he's living in his car. He is approached by the mysterious Manabu Ito, a medical student who says he's a perfect candidate for his experiment. He initially rejects his offer, but later accepts it when his car is towed and is in need of cash. In exchange for 700,000 yen, Nakoshi lets Ito drill a hole into his skull via a method called trepanation. At first, everything seems normal for Nakoshi following this experimental surgery, but this all changes when the effects kick in and he begins seeing the homunculus in every person. Watching Nakoshi undergo this experimental surgery is a horror in itself, but it's the after effects of the surgery and the distorted humans that Nakoshi now sees that are the most unsettling. It's hard to know what's real or not in this one too as you're reading, so there's an element of mystery to this series as you work to understand what is happening to Nakoshi as he himself is trying to understand what is going on as well. You really feel like you're in the story with Nakoshi as a result. It's one of my favorite series and I hope you'll check it out when it releases this year. Before I sign out, I also want to mention Goodbye Eri by Tatsuki Fujimoto, the creator of Chainsaw Man and Fire Punch, which I highly recommend picking up. It's a one-shot, so it's a quick yet incredible read that you can get into in 2023. Windbreaker, which is arriving in fall 2023 from Kodansha. It's a delinquent shonen story, so I'm excited for this one too.
Number one, Rhino Tuna. That's 1. 2, Lack Illustrated. 3, I think his name is Roita. They're all on Instagram, so they're all on mention. They're also on Twitter. Roita. The fourth one is, I would say Horikoshi from My Hero Academia because I like his sketches. Number 5 would probably be I do like Pororo's work. Those are the 5 I think mention. And I'll actually say 6 is Robeto.
2. I'm also excited to pick up Akane Banashi.
All these characters
are
all these people are on Instagram. You can check them out.
I absolutely loved Black Torch and wish it would have kept going. So I'm excited to pick up.
I actually like the person. I also like the artist who's working on the author or the creator of what do you call it? Gacha the Kuda. So yeah.
Up their latest. I'm also intrigued by Don't Call It Mystery, which is releasing from Seven Seas and is by Yumi Tamura, the creator of Basara and Seven Seeds. I'll be for sure getting Chojin X by Tsui Yoshida, the creator of one of my all-time favorites, Tokyo Ghoul, Boys Abyss, Megumi and Segami, and Sugami Project 2. There are 2 other final releases to look out for that aren't new but are new format releases. The first is the Vinland Saga Deluxe Editions, which are premium 3-in-1 collector's hardcovers. I will for sure do a video comparing the 2 editions from Kodansha when they come out, so stay tuned for that. Expect these to be releasing in the fall of 2023. There's also a new box set coming out for Toilet Bound Hanako-kun from Yen Press as well. There's so much to look forward to, but these are the ones that I'm looking forward to the most. What about you all? What new manga are you excited to pick up most in 2023 so far? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time.
Alright, so with that said, I'm pretty much done at this point. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, share, and subscribe. I can't talk today. Like, subscribe, share, and comment, all that great stuff. If you guys enjoy this, I'll see you guys in the next one. I do appreciate it, and hit that or smash that subscribe button. It's fun when people
Samurai. K Urina.
Let me see. Kirina. I'm back. Okay. So, like, with that said, we're going to jump out of here, guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys in the next one. This was Anime Collective. Give them a follow if you want to check out more of their videos. We'll do more reactions later on in time. I was going to play video game, but it's already 11, and no one wants to do that right now. So, like, have a great night, guys. This was fun for me making a bunch of character designs, just random stuff. Alright, later, Star. I do appreciate you. Thank you for coming in. I do appreciate it very much. We're about to jump out, and have a great night, and stay frosty. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Later, guys. Bye-bye.